Kingdom
live.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni. It's Mahomes' house. Arrowhead my ass. You gotta fight for your right to party.
Woo!
Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock. That means it's time for Chiefs Kingdom Live.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody. Good to be back. We took a little hiatus. Nick and I took some time and hooked up with Bo out there in the desert, out there in Nevada. Had a good time. Represented Chiefs Kingdom there in Raider country. I still can't just get over seeing the Raiders shit all over Las Vegas.
That's
Like
weird.
I've been there 2 or 3 times since they've moved there, and it still drives me crazy. But we got
That's why it's so great to walk around with your Chiefs stuff. Just loud and proud.
especially your Super Bowl Chiefs stuff. But
Yeah, exactly.
it was a good time. It's good to see everybody. If you haven't already, click like, click subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family members, tell your neighbor,
Yeah.
tell the dog catcher, help spread the word. We'd appreciate it. Got some fun stuff to talk about here off season with some spicy Tyreek Hill, some cheetah. Warning for Arrowhead for the game coming up next year. We'll talk about McCole Hardman going to the Jets. That's a little bit kind of old news at this point, but we'll just give our thoughts on the Jet going to the Jets. Talk about Frank Clark being unsigned. Maybe there's some people predicting he goes back to Seattle. Maybe he comes back here. Who knows? We'll get into that. The NFL draft is going to be here in Kansas City in a few weeks, so we'll talk about
Close.
that.
It's close.
But, fellas, how are we doing today, Bo?
Doing great, man. Doing great. It's been a while since we've done this. It's good to be back talking to y'all,
right.
talking to everybody in the chat. Good to see everybody in the chat. Brenda, Chris, Laney, everybody that's going to watch this after the fact. Thank you. No, doing great. It was fun having you guys out here. Love showing you guys how to lose money the old-fashioned way and gambling. Scott and I experienced some crazy 7-8 card 21s that were just pretty unbelievable. It's just like, you got to be kidding me. But no, we had a great time. It was fun seeing you guys, fun hanging out with you guys as always. Excited to do this again. Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Echo that. It was fun to go see y'all. Bo and I were getting picked up for the Uber, or was it me and Scott? Were you in the? You were in the car. Me and Scott from Bo's house. Guy rolls up wearing Chiefs hat. He's smiling his ass off because we're wearing Chiefs shirts. It's like, all right, let's do this. But no, good. We've officially entered the phase where the Super Bowl merch is starting to go on sale. I got this puppy half off. So if you are in the Kansas City area, that's when the sales are starting to happen. So just when I thought I was done blowing money on Super Bowl stuff, I just bought more merchandise. But
They go and make it 50% off.
I can justify and be like, look, it's not going to happen every year. It's going to happen like every 2 or 3 years for the next 15.
Yeah.
But
I like to make the joke. I don't think I can afford for the Chiefs to win too many more Super Bowls. So
it's expensive.
But hey, we're enjoying it. Chris is in there hoping I lost all my money. I didn't lose all my money. I only lost 90% of it, Chris. So I'm still doing okay. But I've never – I lost $100 in about 10 minutes, and I didn't have a hand worse than 17.
Yeah, that's true.
Table.
That's 100%.
I was
Scott's
jinxing
first
you guys.
hand
What it
was a blackjack. Scott's
Right.
first hand was a blackjack. So we're just like, let's go. There we go. No, every hand after that, whoa, we just got wiped out. And I was having to struggle to get into the high teens, but you, like you said, just being dealt 18, 19, 17 and still losing. It was typical Vegas.
I think I lost a hand where I had 20 in there. So, but yeah, no, it was a good time. Seeing the Raiders shit out there and going by Allegiant Stadium and Arrowhead West, as it's affectionately been referred to by Chiefs Kingdom. Good time being out there. I just don't think I'll ever get used to seeing the Raiders stuff out there. It's just weird. It's weird, and it's so funny because all the Raiders stuff out there says just win, baby, and Raider Nation and all this stuff, and you ain't winning nothing. And you ain't won nothing in a long time.
Dude, after living here for a couple of months, you find out there's really no true Raiders fans here, right? They're all adopted. They're all kind of new to the Raiders experience. They're not diehards. So when you start just talking shit a little bit, they don't really fight back. Like, you guys are pretty good.
They got the Golden Knights out there. That's their team. And I was a little disappointed that there was a game going on while we were out there, and I didn't think to look and see if they were playing. The arena was right outside my window there at the hotel, and I could hear the horn going off every time they scored. And I was laying there in the hotel thinking, dude, how did I miss this? But let's get into some of this Chiefs news. Well, this is kind of old news. This is the opposite of new news. It's old news. Mecole Hardman leaves the Chiefs, goes to the Jets on a 1-year deal worth not very much money. When it happened, Mecole Hardman, he did a nice tribute to Chiefs Kingdom and put a farewell message in the local paper here. So that was classy of him. I like that. I never had any ill will towards Mecole Hardman. I thought he was fine for who he was. He was just a little bit overdrafted and had lofty expectations that he didn't necessarily live up to. But he was a fine player and helped his team win Super Bowls. The deal he got, though, when they were asking him about, did the Chiefs make you an offer at all? He kind of started fumbling around his words there. And to me, I put out on the Chiefs Kingdom Live Twitter, if you're not following us there, give us a follow. I said, this is what happens when you're saying the breakup was mutual, but everybody knows the breakup was not mutual. That's what it felt like to me. But no, she wanted to break up too. He went there for a year, and he could only make a couple $1 million even with incentives. It was not very much money. What are your thoughts? The Chiefs obviously didn't look like they tried to keep him. Do you think that's injury, performance? What do you think about Mecole Hardman going to the Jets and seemingly the Chiefs not wanting to keep him? Bo?
Yeah, man, I heard a lot of different quotes this week about that and last couple of weeks, I guess. I guess, the Chiefs, I don't think they really offered him what he thought he was worth. He thinks that he's a true wide receiver one. And the quote that he's been saying these past couple of weeks is I came into a team with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and how are you going to expect me to be wide receiver one? Man, because you're supposed to. That's why Tyreek Hill goes to Miami and he's wide receiver one there, right? It's just talent. It's not who you're playing with kind of thing. But I don't know. I loved him as a player, dude. He's come up in such clutch moments. He was part of the Legion of Zoom, even though I kind of hated that nickname. But just such a great asset to have, a little ace up your sleeve, essentially. It really sucks to see him go, but at the same time, I didn't really see him as a wide receiver one. And then we're bringing in rookies that are kind of outshining him. So I'm just kind of I guess he really isn't a wide receiver one. And when there was talks of him leaving, they're go shop around, see what you're going to get. And I was thinking he was probably thinking that he was going to get a better deal than what he got, obviously. And then the Chiefs are oh, this is all that's out there. All right, yeah, we're not going to really pay you. That's just my opinion, though, not backed by fact by any means. But so good luck, man. It sucks to see you go, but I'm stoked at the team aspect that we're about to have, dude. All these new young kids, Patrick Mahomes throwing to guys. We're building up some capital for something. I think we're going to make a major move here in the next couple of weeks. So stoked to see what's down the pipeline. Nick, how you feeling about all this, man?
Thank you for your service, Mecole Hardman. You were a fine player and you had some good plays for us. Especially, he had some key plays on that Bills 13-second game where in overtime, which were huge and to the win there. So I don't want to say anything too disparaging, but since we just went to Vegas, I'll bring up Pawn Stars, right? Where it's people show up and they're yeah, I've got this thing and I'm going to sell it and I'm going to get this and this and that. And they're man, I got some bad news for you. It ain't worth what you think it's worth, right? No. And I think that's kind of what we're finding out here. He's a replacement level guy. And, I agree with you. Sitting there saying, well, all these other guys were better than me, that's why I wasn't wide receiver one, isn't really a really great place to come from, you know? It's like, well, if like you were better, if you're the best, and like you would have been number one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I wish him well. You know, unfortunately, he's going to the Jets, which, you know, they're the Jets. So you know, I'm
From
not
Super
going to dog
Bowl
on too much.
champion to the Jets.
Right. Well, the Chiefs went 50 years without like between winning Super Bowls, and they weren't the team that had the longest gap because the Jets won Super Bowl III and they hadn't been back. So, you know, I wish him best of luck, man. I really do. But you know, I just think that the Chiefs were like we could find a guy in the second, third round of the draft and we get that kind of production as we saw this year, right? So looks like we got John B in here. We got John C. What's up, guys? Thanks for
I
joining.
gotta click over my comments here. What's up, everybody?
Got all the Johns in the house. Good to see everybody. It's been a minute.
One of those shows again.
He was only good versus San Francisco. Well, I'm glad that that's when he decided to shine, John.
Yeah, he's still running jet sweeps for touchdowns against the Niners, but he was a, like you said, I think that's a good characterization of him. He was a replacement level player, decent, not great though. And that quote you guys were talking about, you brought up, Bo, that is not alpha dog mentality that you have to be a wide receiver one.
Yeah, completely.
Team. You don't come in and say, oh, well, all these guys that were better than me is the reason I wasn't the number one guy. That's not how.
How do you expect me to be good with all these good guys around me?
No shit.
Right. Exactly. So, but I like the Jet. He had a couple nice plays where he burned the Raiders for some long touchdowns. I remember they played then. That was like one of the last games on the old baseball field where they still had the dirt infield. That was where Patrick Mahomes, I want to say, threw like 4 touchdowns in 4 minutes or something like that against the Raiders.
Right.
He had some
300 yards in the first half.
Right. Yeah. He had some big punt returns in games that, you know, got us back in games. So best of luck to him. He's going to the Jets. He's going to need some luck going to the Jets, even if Aaron Rodgers goes there. Who knows? But
I heard that might be not a done deal.
Right. Until I see that it's announced and he's the deal, the trade's been made, I'm just going to assume that it's not going to happen. I just have a hard time like seeing the Packers trading Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit here at the end of the show when we get into some non-Chiefs topics. Another old friend of ours that has moved on but hasn't necessarily found a new home yet, the Shark, Frank Clark, still unsigned. There was some things going around that maybe they were predicted he was going to go back to the Seahawks, which is where he started his career. That's obviously the Chiefs traded with to get him here. I think Frank Clark's still a valuable player. I think he still can be a productive player. Maybe he's testing the waters and getting the McCole Hardman treatment, that he's not getting what he thought he was going to get. The Chiefs, they had to let him go at that cap number. He was going to be the second most expensive player on the team after Patrick Mahomes. And Chiefs just couldn't. You just can't pay Frank Clark that kind of money at this point in his career. But I think there's a chance that he comes back. I think every day that goes by without signing without another team increases the likelihood that he comes back here. Him and Andy Reid are tight, like real tight.
Right.
So,
right.
What do you think, Nick? Frank Clark, you feeling better about his chances of coming back? You still feeling about the same as when they cut him?
Come back to the Chiefs, man. You always have a home here. I love 5'5". The dude is not only does he make great plays in the postseason, but he gives you the best postseason interviews. He's a great personality, a good dude. He mentors players. So I would like to see him come back. The rumor mill that is the internet saying he's looking at going back to Seattle, which, you know, I mean, if he goes there and they want to pay him, that's great. But if the Chiefs are willing to pay him the kind of money that he's getting from other teams, like why wouldn't he come back here, right? I don't know, maybe it's a pride thing, but I would love to see him come back. And John V's in the comments here, he's saying apparently Rodgers is coming to San Francisco, and so is President Lincoln. Like, y'all are going to be set with all the quarterbacks that are going there. It's like, is Tom Brady still going to San Francisco? Because I heard that too, right? So
Are they going to have like 5 to choose from next season?
Yeah. And
San
John-
Francisco
Are we
49ers,
thinking
love
that
quarterback
Frank
controversy?
Clark's just too expensive? Is that what we're thinking? That's why nobody's signing him? 'Cause I mean, I thought, honestly, one of the AFC West teams were going to swoop him up just to like piss off us, compete with us, kind of get an inside track to our defensive scheme.
Yeah.
Is that consensus? We're just thinking like he's probably just too expensive for that position.
Yeah, I think he's probably not getting the offers he thought he was going to get. He was making big money on the Chiefs. And so that's probably got hurt taking that kind of a pay cut. And he had a strong second half of last season, but really the last couple seasons he kind of underperformed. I did not expect him to get a large payday when the Chiefs released him. I would love to see him back. The guy made some of the biggest plays in Chiefs playoff history, man. I mean, sacked Ryan Tannehill to send us back to the Super Bowl. I want to say he had a big sack of Jimmy G in the Super Bowl. The guy got a sack, first sack in the AFC Championship game against the Bengals. Kind of got that frenzy started in the championship game at home against the Bengals last year. So yeah, I'd love to see the guy back.
He's one of those guys though that like, right? Like I feel like if he is too expensive, like we're all assuming that like, you got to let him go just to clear cap space because we're just paying everybody at this point. But it's also one of those guys that like, man, you'd really love to have him on your team, and that's why I'm really surprised that nobody picked him up. But I could see him coming right back. I think I've said this like right after the Super Bowl or like whenever the news was first announced. It's like, I know he's out there, but there's a lot of rumors out there that he'll be back because, as you mentioned, him and Andy's Reid relationship is second to none when it comes to
it's crazy because even if his skills are waning a little bit, he's like a cornerstone of the locker room kind of guy. He's got all that knowledge of the Chiefs, and you see some of these other Chiefs that got signed, Juan Thornhill, Mecole Hardman. Now Hardman obviously didn't get a great contract, but it was weird to not see somebody scoop him up. But like you said, Scott, I mean, maybe he's had lots of offers and it's just not what he was willing to accept. So, and maybe he's made enough money.
30. How old's Frank Clark?
I'm not sure how old he is.
I want to say he's like 29, 30. Yeah.
Maybe someone in the chat can help us out there and look that up and let us know how old Frank Clark is. But
one of our unpaid interns in the chat.
He's 29. I just looked it up. Gotcha.
29. Young man still. So
yeah, so age wouldn't be a factor. Longevity wouldn't be. He's not known to be injury prone.
Right. He was in some of the best shape of his life this year.
Mm-hmm. Crushed it this year. I mean, he didn't crush it, but I mean, performed really well. And I think the phrase we all used all year was when Chris Jones was on fire, so was he, right? Like everybody was so busy with Chris Jones that it opened him up. So
all right.
I don't know.
Stack Nation, like to keep that together. You also saw him working a lot with George Karlaftis in the off season and in training camp. He was working with George and teaching him techniques and really took him under his wing, which guys don't have to do that. You see a lot of these veteran guys say, I'm not under no obligation. It doesn't make any sense for me to train my replacement. So he was a stand-up dude when it came to being a team-first guy and a good teammate. And it seemed like he'd put some of the personal issues behind him and had a really good second half, strong finish to his regular season, and then was really, really productive and really, really good in the playoffs. I don't think the Chiefs win either Super Bowl without Frank Clark.
No.
And maybe that's giving him a little bit too much credit because Patrick Mahomes, the miracle man in those Super Bowls, but he was an integral part to Super Bowl championship teams. We can leave it at that. But
that's a fair statement, 100%.
Yeah, Frank, man, if you come across this show, man, we'd love to have you on and talk about it and see if we can't talk you into coming back. So hit us up, DM us on Twitter. DM us on Twitter. Another old friend that's creating some news here, the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill, was on a local sports radio show here. Now, I feel I've felt this since he left. I feel Chiefs Kingdom took him leaving a little too personally, and when he like the comments about Tua and how accurate he was compared to Mahomes, what did you expect him to do? Go there and say, "Oh, I mean, Mahomes is way better than this dude." The guy had to say something good about his guy. That's his guy now, right? And he started the podcast and he kind of made some shots about the Chiefs not getting enough targets or whatever. But I don't think Tyreek Hill takes Tyreek Hill too seriously. So I don't think Chiefs Kingdom should necessarily take him as serious as they do. This was another one of those things where he was on a radio show with Garrett Dieter, one of his old buddies, Sheepdog, as he would always call him on Twitter, and Anthony Sherman, the sausage, the retired fullback from the Chiefs.
Wait, is he on their podcast or is he on his? He has a podcast too, doesn't he?
So Garrett Dieter and Anthony Sherman have a radio show here on.
Oh, okay,
radio channel.
Are they on 810 or something?
Yeah, it's on 810. So he was on there, kind of laughing it up with his buddies, saying that he was going to be the Chiefs' nightmare because the Dolphins play the Chiefs at Arrowhead this coming season, and he said, "I'm going to be y'all's worst nightmare, and I'm going to hate to throw up the deuces on everybody, but just be ready." And it was kind of funny. I feel a lot of people kind of took it out of context, but I mean, if he wants to throw up the deuces, all Chiefs got to do is throw up the ring finger, kind of like the women's, the LSU player, right? Just start pointing the finger when he starts.
Two fingers.
Right. Right. Well, what do you guys think about Tyreek Hill having a little bit of fun, taking some jabs at Chiefs Kingdom and talking about his return to Arrowhead? Nick?
So I've been working a lot, and so I've been kind of tuned out, and I read it and I was just like, "Oh, fuck, Tyreek, why you got to do that?" And then I watched the clip where we were trying to get it to where we could show it here. I couldn't figure it out. I watched the clip and he said it like pretty jovially or lighthearted, it didn't seem like there was malice in it. So, whatever, come here. I mean, hey, my grandpa was famous to say, like, if you're able to back it up, you can say whatever you want. So,
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it was just, I think he was trying to have fun, and I think he's kind of like, the Conor McGregor school of like talking shit to get media attention because it gets, promotes his brand, gets people to look at his stuff, gets him, ad revenue, gets people to watch him on Twitch. So I think that's kind of where he comes from. He's really good at causing those viral moments, So good luck.
I think for us, it's like looking at like a broken up relationship that you just got out of. Like it's like your ex-girlfriend. You're like, oh, who are you hooking up? You're hooking up in Miami? Oh man, right? Like you're just like, no matter what they say, you're just gonna be like, yeah, whatever. What you're just talking shit, right? But like,
yeah, but
meanwhile, even if he was dead
like,
serious,
you're like going up and like they're, with two,
right.
So.
But okay, like so, like even if he was dead serious, though, like he's
Yeah.
kind of right. Like he's gonna be our worst nightmare. Like he's every team's worst nightmare. Like he's not wrong. Like he can back it up. Everybody in the league kind of credits him as being like the best receiver out there, the fastest for sure, right? And then
Right.
some debate a little bit, but not much. Like most people kind of agree on that. So
Right.
I'm not too. I didn't see it, so I'm not too worried about it. But like I just think, hey man, if some players are getting hurt by it, just put another chip on our shoulder when we don't need one. So hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, Brenda got it right. I mean, ask the Bengals how talking shit about coming to Arrowhead worked out for him.
Right. Yeah, it's
Burrowhead.
Burrowhead and all that nonsense. Yeah, it didn't work out for them too well. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs Kingdom has got this deal with Tyreek Hill now. It's anytime he says anything, it's being disrespectful and know where you came from and all this stuff. And I think Tyreek Hill is just having fun with things more than anything. The dude never came off to me is a very spiteful or all that serious of a dude, right? He was kind of always laughing, joking, having a good time. I remember when he came back in training camp after the bogus hit job the local TV station and tried to do on him with his kid and the child abuse stuff that came out to be total nonsense, and the recorded audio that they edited up and only played parts of. He came back and he was like, "Cheetah's back, baby. I'm back." You know, like it was serious stuff that people were worried whether he was going to ever play or not, and he just came back and was laughing and joking it off. So, but yeah, he'll be here in Arrowhead, and I'll be looking forward to that game. I mean, he can get his, but they're still going to lose. So,
did I miss it? Did they announce all the home games? Did I miss that?
Yeah, they announced the home. Basically, after the season ends, they know who the home opponents and the away opponents are going to be.
But we don't know like what order the games are in yet, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
they'll
right.
know.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what I was thinking.
But
Did they announce
Cheetah has
this?
one of the best in the pantheon of quotes from Chiefs players. He's got one of the best ones, man. He's like, "Look, dog."
Yeah.
After that touchdown, like, did Andy Reid talk to you about, maybe going down there at the goal? He's like, Andy didn't say nothing about no church. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was the amazing play there towards the end of the 13-second game where he just burned the entire Bills secondary for that touchdown. And yeah, look, I'm a dog. And he is. That's the other thing too. I feel like Chiefs Kingdom and a lot of Chiefs fans tried to act like he wasn't all that when he left, and I'm like, man, he was all that. All right, he was that good. He was that.
No, I'm pretty sure the shockwave was felt, man. I think a lot of people were just in denial, right? Like, no, man, I didn't love her. I swear.
Yeah, Laney's got a comment there. Yeah, I did see that video where Tyreek Hill's at a mall, and he's got the helmet on and the pads, and he's standing there like a mannequin, and people are like walking up, looking around him, and he's like, like that, and scaring them, and it was pretty funny. It was pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, I'm still a fan of the Cheetah. I might wear my Cheetah jersey to the game this year. I don't know. So, but that kind of leads us in. We weren't planning on talking about this, but there's been some leaks out there. You were talking about the home and the away and the schedule. We're starting to see some schedule leaks come out now, and it looks like the Chiefs, everybody, this is no leak or no new news here that the Chiefs are playing in Germany, but it's been leaked that the opponent for the Germany game is going to be the Bears.
Interesting.
Chiefs have a
guaranteed win, right?
the Chiefs have the uneven home and away schedule in their favor this year. So the away game is a home game. They're obviously not going to make the Chiefs play a AFC contender home game on the road in Germany, like the Bengals or the Bills or somebody. An NFC opponent makes sense. The Bears have a young electric player at quarterback with Justin Fields. They've made some moves and brought on some talent. So what do you guys think? Are you liking the Bears in Germany, Bo?
Loving the Bears in Germany. Like, what a great way to showcase your team across the pond, right? Like,
your pop, he's a
my dad's a huge Bears fan.
right?
Yeah, man. Like, so I kind of pay attention to them, and while they always have so much hope, the expectation never rises to it. They just fall short so like year after year, man. They just keep falling short. My dad's joke is it's a rebuilding decade for them, and this is their third rebuilding decade. So,
yeah.
Not too worried about it, man. I'm actually really excited. Trying to maybe even go to that game. I don't know. See how everything works out, timing wise. The passport situation right now is nuts. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Like, it's like a 4-month delay to get a passport.
Oh,
but other than that, no. Yeah, not worried about the Bears whatsoever. I think we match up really well against them. Dude, I'm really excited to see our young team. They're not going to be rookies anymore. Get out there and just like start like, taking it to the next level. Nick, what do you feel about this Bears game in Germany?
I mean, you couldn't have got a better poll than the team that finished with the worst record in the league, right? For that game. So, I mean, you got to maybe think that Justin Fields is going to progress and they'll be better. They got like a lot of draft capital from trading down. So they're probably not going to be the worst team in the league next year, but how cool is that going to be? I mean, to see one of the one of the old school NFL teams in Germany. I think the game's in Frankfurt, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm seriously considering going to that game. So, Scott, maybe we could do Chiefs Kingdom live across the pond. We gotta figure it out.
I think we have some European friends that would love to join us too.
Maybe we'll start a Patreon, and then for $5 a month.
You have to get a lot of Patreons of $5 to pay for that trip, but I'm sure the Chiefs will send me some sort of package. Being a season ticket member, I'll probably get some sort of package deal. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. But yeah, you said the Bears are a good matchup. The Bears are a good matchup for everybody except for the 49ers. Just ask Trey Lance and John V. But it was a monsoon, though, right?
Monsoon.
They had to play him in a monsoon last year. The Bears won 2 games, and one of them was against the Niners, right? Isn't that right? Something like that. So, but
something like that.
I better take it easy on my guy John V. I've been wearing him out here today. He's gonna stop watching the show, but
hey, no, huge props to John V, dude. I watched the locker room rant this morning. Sorry I didn't get to catch it live last night, man, but I was watching it this morning, laughing my ass off. Oh my God. I was commenting to Scott and Nick while I'm watching it. I'm like, oh man, this is great, man. Commenting how funny it is. I had no idea you guys were about to bring up the Soto incident like you did. It was the horse racing. If you guys haven't caught Locker Room Rant, it's on Tuesday nights. Check it out. These guys are hilarious.
So I was watching that last night, and my daughter was not asleep. She's 8, my older one. I'm like, well, hey, they're going to be doing this horse race thing against my better judgment. You want to watch this with me?
Yeah.
And so then 30 minutes later, I'm having to give an explanation about how back in the day, if somebody gave you a hard time at the bus stop, you could beat the crap out of them until they never mess with you again. But now that's not okay. Because she was like, "Dad, did you beat somebody up?" I was like, "It was a long time ago." She's like, "How old were you?" I was like about as old as you, maybe a little older.
Don't get any ideas, young lady. But picking on you, kick their ass.
Looks like we got a new viewer in the comments. Pihaku. I mean,
fuck you, get it?
I get it, Nick. I was trying to not give him credit there, but
I'm the asshole.
So, hey, Glad, thanks for joining, man. Make sure you click that subscribe button. We appreciate it. Go Bucks. Yeah, they had their flash in the pan where they got to play us all beat up in the Super Bowl, and then we're barely a playoff team. And did they beat the Cowboys last year? Or did they lose to the Cowboys in the playoffs?
I can't remember. Oh, that's right. They lost to them, right? That's right.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose to the Cowboys in the playoffs, you got no room to be talking. Okay, so, but no, hey, I'm glad. Thanks for joining the show. I have a feeling that might be why one of our buddies messing with us too. So, hey, any and all are welcome on Chiefs Kingdom Live. We can take it out. We can dish it. We can dish it out. We can take it as well. So,
oh yeah.
Other kind of Chiefs NFL news. The draft here is coming up right around the corner. They're starting to get stuff ready down there at Union Station. I saw they were talking about it on the news this morning. It says it takes them almost a month to build that stage and get all that stuff set up and everything. It was like a month. Like it takes that, but apparently
it's like 2 people working on that project. A month.
Pretty detailed thing. With the Chiefs losing Hardman, they are, I don't know if you want to say thin at wide receiver right now, but are we thinking the Chiefs make a splash and move up in the draft and get a wide receiver? Because they've kind of passed on these big name wide receiver free agents and let Hardman go. Right now, basically, they got Sky Moore and MVS for next year. Let Juju go too. Juju went to the Patriots, went to the dark side there. What do you guys? How you thinking? Did you feel like the Chiefs stay pat there at the bottom of the first round? Do you think they trade up, make a splash move, try to get one of these top-notch wide receivers? We kind of broke that down too. Talked about some of those guys in our last episode. If you want to go back and check that out. Bo, what do you think of the Chiefs are doing in the draft coming up here in a few weeks in Kansas City?
Yeah, it's really soon. They're at Union Station, right? It's gonna be fun for you guys to go check that out. No, I don't know what their plan is. If history's taught me anything, right? Like, just don't even worry about it, because Brett Veach, Andy Reid, everybody there, they got a plan. They got a plan that like nobody's aware of, and it's usually great, right? We've been saying it now for the past couple shows that I've been saying it, that I feel like they're making room for something. They're making a move for something, whether it's trading up in the draft, whether it's getting a huge veteran, something's going to happen. I'm not one to like speculate on what they're actually going to do, but I could see them doing that. Yeah, I could see them going for a great weapon. It's the name of the game right now. Get P. Mahomes as many weapons as possible. Young talent, old talent, doesn't matter. So if that's their plan, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, let's just see, because I mean, if history taught us anything, first round draft doesn't necessarily matter, right? Like our 7th round draft picks have proven to be way more productive sometimes than our first rounders. So, yeah, I'm more like wait back or just kick back and see what they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that though. Nick, what do you think? You think they make some moves in the draft?
Yeah, I kind of like what Brenda was saying here. If there was a solid tackle they felt really good about to replace Orlando Brown Jr., move up, go get that, go get him. But I don't know. It's receivers. We definitely need to beef that up. I mean, what do you think that was it Justin Ross? Is that his name? Do you think he's going to be back, or do you think he's going to be anything? I mean, kind of excited that felt like we stole that guy because of his issues, and then obviously he didn't play because he's got some health stuff that he was trying to overcome. But
Right.
it just, I don't know. I think that if you have the capital, moving up and getting a tackle is typically a safer move in those early rounds than a receiver, because you could spend a lot of capital on something that's going to flop. But maybe the Chiefs want to move up and make a splash because it's in their hometown too, and go get that true number one receiver. It's definitely something we need. So either would be good.
Right. Yeah, they got Justin Ross and John Ross. Maybe they're interesting projects. I feel they're kind of like a lottery ticket, like a scratcher, right? I mean, I don't think you can bank on one of those guys becoming a top dog. Sky Moore, he didn't show me anything in his first year that leads me to believe you can just bank on him coming in and being a number one wide receiver and getting 1,300 yards and like 6 or 8 or 9 touchdowns, over 100 catches. I know he was behind some other guys, but I would have liked to have seen him flash more in his rookie season.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to light us up because he scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, but the dude had under 300 yards and no touchdowns in the regular season. That's not a very good.
To quote Travis Kelce, Travis Kelce's dad could have scored those touchdowns in the Super Bowl, right? Like that's the way Andy Reid drew those plays up.
I mean, I could have scored that touchdown he scored in the Super Bowl. I think I was wide open. There's some pretty good still shots of that where the ball's in the air and you can see the entire like left half of the field from the hashes over. And there's like no Eagles players in the screen anywhere, no defender. Yeah, so I don't know.
He did have some like flashes. He did have some flashes though, right? Like he had the punt return in the championship game. He had some crazy third down catches after like some muff punts to like bring him back into the game, keep his head up and elevated, and not just be completely down on himself for muffing some punts in some crucial moments. But just like flashes, right? Nothing consistent.
Who does that sound like though? The guy we were just talking about a little bit earlier, Mecole Hardman, the guy that made some flash plays here and there, but was never a true number one or even true number 2 wide receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster and Sammy Watkins were both ahead of him.
Yeah, but Sky Moore was a rookie. And Mecole was not a rookie though.
So, yeah, I don't know. He is going to need to make some pretty drastic leaps and bounds from what he did in year 1 to year 2 to anchor this wide receiving core on this team. So yeah,
He's got room to grow, though. I mean, I liked him as a rookie, right? Like there's a difference between a rookie and a veteran a little bit, but like I liked his flashes. Like I'd like to see more of them. But
right. I mean,
Mahomes is
Tyreek
also
Hill,
spreading it around to like 11, 12 people a game too.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get, to look super consistent when you're only getting 3-4 attempts.
right? But you look at these top-notch receivers; they come in the league. They don't have 280 yards and no touchdowns their first year. I mean, as a rookie,
It's true.
Tyreek Hill was a converted running back, and he had 600 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns his first year, his rookie year, without Smith at quarterback. You look at what Justin Jefferson's done, Jamar Chase and the Bengals there in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
These guys, A.J. Brown with the Titans. The wide receiver position can be a more slowly developing position, let's say running back or quarterback. But the results from the rookie year were not what I don't think the Chiefs were expecting, and I was expecting more from the guy. But
Yeah. No, we got our new buddy here is asking how we feel about politics involved in football, and John
What are
B said politics. Who's she?
right.
That's what I was laughing at. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, you're good. No, hey, we're not very political on this show, but if you watch our other show, no, I'm just kidding. We don't have another show. We don't
like,
have
are you talking about like the politics of football, like Roger Goodell and his antics, and like the refs, that kind of politics? Or are you trying to get into like American politics? There's a difference. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like he's getting deep. Bucks fans since '76. Hey, were they Bucks even a team in '76?
They were an expansion team, I think, and they went 0-14 their first year. So
Was that in '76? I was thinking that was like the early '80s. Maybe they're. For some reason, I was wanting to say like 80 or 81 or 82.
Killer logo though. Killer logo back then. I like that, Bucks.
Yeah, hey, I mean, I got love and respect for Bucks fans. It was right after that Super Bowl. Well, not right after. I went out there in May. I was out in Vegas, coincidentally, and it was after the Super Bowl, and I was still wearing my Mahomes jersey, right? I was still representing Chiefs Kingdom out there in Vegas, and I ran into this crowd of Buccaneers fans. And when I say a crowd, I'm not talking like a gaggle. I'm not talking like 5, 6, 7. Not a group of Bucks fans. There was like 30 or 40 of these guys and gals all in their Bucks stuff. And they saw my Mahomes jersey. They were giving me a hard time. But then I sat there and talked with them. And they were cool as hell. It was fun going back and forth with them. And a couple of them were like, yeah, man, we kind of dodged a bullet with your line, man. Like, I didn't use that as an excuse, and I didn't sit there and make excuses for the Chiefs losing. And they weren't sitting there saying that, oh, well, we got lucky. But they acknowledged that it was pretty fortunate, the situation with injuries that they ran into, and they were cool. So we got no animosity, no vitriol for the Bucks fans out there. If you're a hardcore fan of your team, we respect it. And you've been a Buccaneers fan since '76. Those some rough years in the beginning.
Oh man,
Just some rough years overall, but yeah.
But one of the
no hard feelings here. I just want a rematch, though.
I mean, those original Bucks uniforms were some of the sickest uniforms, I think. The helmet and what they call it, creamsicle.
Right.
So
Big Doug
That logo
here.
though is sick.
Big Doug's in the house. John B was looking for you earlier, Big Doug. So
Oh,
yeah,
what's up, Big
Bucks
Doug?
expansion
Good to see you,
74.
sir.
Okay. So they've been around a little bit longer than I thought. So yeah, I don't know. Chiefs, they gotta make some moves at wide receiver. And by letting Tyreek go and letting Juju walk, I feel like they need to make a move. They've got all these draft picks, and they're not going to draft where they have 11 or 12 picks. They're not going to draft 12 guys. They don't need 12 guys. They need to use that capital to move up and get themselves a young stud wide receiver that will be on a team-friendly rookie contract for the next 3 or 4 years. Someone that can grow with Patrick Mahomes, someone that can take some of the pressure off of Sky Moore in his second year. That's really what I'm looking for. That's what I would like to see. I want to see the Chiefs move up and get one of these guys. I understand getting a tackle. We let Orlando Brown Jr. walk, but they brought in the guy from the Jaguars. I feel like the plan is to move him to left tackle. And you can get solid tackles and offensive linemen in second, third, fourth round. If you want to get like one of these surefire, almost can't miss wide receiver prospects, you got to go up in the top half.
So I was literally just about to ask this before John's comment here. I was about to ask this. So would you rather have a young receiver or like an Ayuk type veteran that's like, you know, has a name established to be solid hands, fast, athletic, competitive, almost game changer? What would you guys rather see? Like I said, somebody younger or like a veteran essentially? Because I mean, they're making moves for one of the two. I feel like.
I don't know. I'm gonna make our guy John V upset again here, but I'm not that high on Brandon Ayuk. I don't think he's some game-breaking wide receiver.
I mean, he's
good.
He's great.
Good, but he's wanting to get paid, and I would rather pay Tyreek Hill than let him walk and then pay Brandon Ayuk. But I mean, if the Also insert other receiver, right? Because there's a bunch of veterans out on the table right now. D Hop to name one. I mean, there's a bunch of other guys. The ridiculous names are coming to mind right now. I don't want to say their names, but there's other guys out there. Maybe not an Ayuk, but somebody else. Like I'm just saying, veteran or younger guy. I feel like you're leaning younger guy.
Yeah,
I'm leaning younger. I want him to identify and go out and find a good wide receiver in the first round and draft him.
Yeah, and cause you get him on the 4-year deal with the 5th-year option from the first round, right? And then you've got if they turn out to be a stud, you've got that guy paired up with Mahomes on a cheap contract for 4 or 5 years. So I think it's definitely not a bad move. It's a bad move if it doesn't pay off, right? With the gamble. And Brenda's bringing up the O-line. Like that's not the sexy pick, but it's the same deal, right? If you could get a solid, left tackle to protect Patrick, you've got that position locked up for the next 4 or 5 years at a low price. So either of those, I'm fine with either of those. And I think that's probably where you're going to see him go.
Yeah, John's upset with me here with my Brandon Ayuk. I mean, I'm not trying to say the guy's a bad player. I just think he's going to be overpaid, and I don't see him. I mean, what is Brandon Ayuk? A top 15 wide receiver in the NFL?
Yeah, I would say so.
20?
John wanted me to click on this comment for him.
I mean, yeah, he had a 1,000-yard season, but George Kittle was hurt. Who was he competing with they threw the ball some. I realize they're a run-first team, but, there's a lot. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, there's a lot of guys. I just don't think Brandon Ayuk is in that top tier of wide receivers, which is where I feel a lot of people are putting him, and I feel like that's what he's asking to get paid when his contract comes up. If you trade for him, if you bring him in, you're going to have to give him a big payday. And I would just rather them go with the younger guy.
He's an excellent blocker. I'm sorry. I thought that was funny. Just the whole blocking thing. I gotta focus on what you're saying and stop reading this chat. I'm sorry, man.
Our buddy here's asking what do we consider as a veteran? What's our opinion of a veteran? To me, it's just somebody that's like on the second contract, right? They've already gone through their first 4 years.
I was going to ask you this as well. Like, so yeah, it's like our veterans are going to be what, Tony and MVS showing guys like the way.
I mean,
right?
Sky Moore will be a veteran technically. I mean, you're a veteran in your second year.
Okay, even better. So, you want these guys? You think these guys have like the sound, solid advice to hand off to a guy coming in next year? Like, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like everybody's football brain comes to our wide receiver core, but
I think I think
it's pretty important to have like a guy to
right?
look up.
You've got Matt Nagy, who is familiar. He's an offensive coordinator for Andy before, so you definitely won't have it in that wide receiver room from the players, but. I don't know. I think that we're in a better situation there than maybe another team where they may be shakier on coaching staff and all that. But I mean, it's a definitely a good thought, right? If we don't have that guy that's got a lot of experience in the league, and we bringing in some rookies, that maybe it could cause some discord there.
Right. Hughes in here saying that to him a veteran is 3+ years. Yeah, that's an established veteran, and maybe that's parsing words, and maybe that's getting into like splitting hairs.
I think there's a thing that comes with experience, especially in this league, right? Like it's just an hours earned type of experience that, like, no matter how much you're like you think you know coming into the NFL, like once you get out there, it's all about feeling it and seeing it for yourself.
John V, I got a question for you, man. What's it going to take to sign Brandon Ayuk on this next contract? How much money per year? 20 million? You think he's asking for that 20, 22, 24 million range? I mean, Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams and the top dogs are getting 30, 32. What do you think, John V? I don't want to pay that guy 20 or 25. If they're going to pay Brandon Ayuk 20 or $25 million a year, I would just pay Tyreek 32.
I think that's what we were trying to pay Tyreek, actually.
Yeah, that's 20. What they were. They were trying to pay him. I think it was, what was it?
Like 24 or something.
24, like because it was $8 million. Yeah, that's right. It was $8 million less per year on a 4-year deal.
Plus or minus $4 million, Scott. Come on.
$32 million though total.
Rounding error, you know.
What's that?
So $4 million. That's a rounding error.
Right.
It's a fraction of a penny. We round that off into a separate bank account.
Right. Got our guy John Clifford saying we could still get D-Hop. I don't know. I think the Cardinals want too much for DeAndre Hopkins.
I heard they only wanted they're getting like a second round pick, a second and a
third is what I saw they wanted.
Is that a lot for D-Hop?
For an older receiver that's only got 2 years left on his deal, that you're going to have to pay, what's he got left on his contract? 28, 30 million for the next? No, it's more than that.
Yeah.
For the next 2 years, that's a lot. That's a lot. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where they need to go get a young guy that's affordable so they can pay some other guys. Chris Jones, he got to get an extension here soon. I mean, they got guys they got to pay. You can't let everybody walk. So,
you said it earlier. How many draft picks do we have? 11 or something? 11?
Yeah, 11.
I think we definitely don't need that many. And dude, I just can't help but feel like we kind of mentioned it before. Like it kind of doesn't matter. I feel like with our company, like our recruiting team, our guys that select the team are just, they're Jedis at this, man. They're on another level. They know what they're doing to the sense that I don't feel like if you give up a second round pick, you're necessarily like giving up a lot in that sense. From the Chiefs perspective. I mean, maybe from like an overall general football perspective, like, yeah, that's a bad move. But man, our guys have been making some great moves. I mean, do you just ride that out, or maybe not?
No, a second round pick, that's not a throwaway pick. It's not a first rounder, but it's also not a fourth rounder. There are lots of good players drafted in this
right.
If it was a second rounder and you had it worked out and he said, hey, I'll rework my deal to a more team friendly contract as part of the stipulations here, would you do it?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Because this, I mean, they're, maybe D-Hop's at the point in his career where he's like, I want a ring and I'm willing to maybe take a pay cut to do that.
I mean, maybe.
Then I'm also thinking like they could trade their lower trades and get back up into that second pick just through trade, like making the trade maneuver happen, right? They could get that position back for them,
right? Yeah, and then you're picking at the end of the first round instead of moving up. But look, they obviously know what they're doing, and Brett Veach isn't calling me. Right?
They're not, probably not taking our advice on this at all. I'm just like, hey, let them do it.
Right.
Although Rick Burkholder might have followed us on Twitter, but
right. Brenda was
no big deal.
Brendan was talking about wanting that offensive line, wanting to solidify that, moving up.
I do agree with that too.
I mean,
though.
I get that,
I really
but
like that.
how many years did the Chiefs have the best offensive line? And that we didn't even win playoff games. I mean, the offensive line is important, but it's not as important as wide receiver. You win games at the skill position players in the NFL: quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. But it's coming up here pretty soon. The draft's right around the corner.
It's an interesting argument, right? Because the O-line, I feel like that's what got Philly into the Super Bowl, like through the playoffs, right? Their O-line was so dominant, right? Like
left tackle almost ended it for the Chiefs in the
threat.
playoffs this year, right?
Right. NFC was weak though this year. The NFC was weak. Outside of the Eagles and the
Niners, I'm just O-line
teams.
specifically, dude. They pushed us around, dude. Like we did not stop a 4th and 1 once. Like they just said quarterback sneak, quarterback sneak, quarterback sneak, quarterback sneak, quarterback sneak. Just I don't know. That was a solid O-line.
Was it more O-line or was it more Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown?
O-line, dude. Like when it was like 4th and 1, which was like how many times, or 4th and 2, you knew what they were lining up for. They lined up for it and they ran it. There was no like they might fake it here.
Those aren't very. That's a couple times a game. That's not.
Sure. But like this was like 6 or 7 times in the Super Bowl, and like there was no doubt that that's what they were running. And when teams are like that confident that it's going to be there, you should win one of those.
Right.
We didn't win.
But, I mean, the Eagles have had a good offensive line. They've had Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson and them guys for several years. And then what happened? They went out and got a stud wide receiver in AJ Brown and put him over the top, and now they're in the Super Bowl.
I completely agree. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, I do agree that like a receiver like definitely is definitely helpful. But
I just couldn't.
I don't think you can undermine it.
Sorry, I couldn't fucking believe that the Titans traded AJ Brown. That dude ate us alive when we played you guys. You traded him?
Neither could the owner because the general manager got fired before the season.
Have you seen the video of Vrabel when they tell him?
What's that?
Have you seen the video of Mike Vrabel when they told him?
No.
Oh, dude, you should look it up. And everybody in the chat should look it up. Like they tell him, and he's just got this look on his face, like, "What the fuck?" Like,
what?
You traded that guy?
Yeah. Well, like I said, the cost that guy his job. So obviously, it was not a very smart move, but we'll see. If the Chiefs are going to move up in the first round, I would rather get a wide receiver than an offensive lineman. That's just me, though.
I mean, we've taken an offensive lineman first before, so I'm saying don't be shocked if they do that. I mean, I see an argument for both.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for joining in, Hugh. We're here pretty much every week, man. So tell your friends. We'll take fans of other teams in here. It's Chiefs Kingdom Live, but we'll talk football with anybody that wants to come join us, and we definitely appreciate the support, no doubt. So
we're fairly objective. We do skew a little bias to the Chiefs sometimes, but I feel like we're pretty objective sometimes. We might pick them to win every game, but hey.
Yeah, I mean, I do. But that's a good strategy. You know, pick them to win every game and pick them to score 30 points or more, and you're going to be right a lot more often than you're wrong. Regardless of what John V thinks about my score predictions, I think the Chiefs ended up averaging was like right at 30.2 points a game. So, not a bad strategy on my part. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, or kind of hit most of the stuff we talked about or planned on talking about. Anything else?
Horse races.
Yeah, go check out.
I got into it last night so hard, dude. I loved it. Nick, did you name your horse George Soto and start whipping him and just like, yeah, run faster?
Right. I was laughing so hard at that. Everybody in the chat, you gotta go watch Locker Room Rant. Just if you don't have time for the whole show from yesterday, watch the last 45 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that with the horse races. And it was
you guys might have still gone to something.
It was so good.
Guys.
Right. Make sure
that's
right. And make sure to
entertaining.
Make sure to subscribe and like too while you're over there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Speaking of, okay, so they were giving away some cards. And John, if we can work out some way to get me some extra juice in that horse race next week. I want that Luka Doncic card. Man. So, hit
You
me
better
up,
bring your
DM
whip,
me.
buddy. I'm getting in that race. I'm coming next weekend. Or
Dude,
next
I
week,
love
excuse me.
Luka, man. I am a Luka fan. I'm not an NBA fan either, but I am a Luka fan. That dude is so much fun to watch play. He's like watching Patrick Mahomes in basketball. The dishes he makes, the passes, some of the plays the moves he puts on people, dude is a baller.
Yeah, he's got like that feel for the game, right? Just knows where to be at the right moments. That's a great card to give away, like low key.
Yeah,
They
right.
were right. That could be like a $10 card now, but in the future it could be like a
Right.
$10,000 card. That's a
Well-
great giveaway, guys.
Right.
Well,
Well,
it was
Laney.
about sitting on cards for a long time.
Right. Well, Laney, go.
Oh my God.
Laney's saying she missed last night, but you go back and watch it tonight, later, or tomorrow. It's on the internet. It lives forever. So, speaking of giveaway,
If you watched the episode last week, you'll watch it again next week because like you're gonna want to get in on these races. That's
you
great.
are.
Bravo, gentlemen. Bravo.
Yeah, that was slick. Speaking of giveaways, we're getting we're getting close to the next giveaway. We were doing it at 250 subscribers. We've blown past that. That's been in the rearview mirror for some time now. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching and subscribe to the channel.
Hell yeah.
Can't thank you enough
Thank
for
you.
that. And then we're 30 away at the beginning of the show. Twitter followers from triggering the giveaway, and you want to be in this giveaway. You want to be eligible. We're going to come up with something cool. We're not going to steal the horse races idea, but we're brainstorming on a way to get. It's going to be something to where viewers, subscribers, and Twitter, like you're going to have to like figure out some way to get into both of those if you want to get in on the giveaways. So,
Ooh, a little sneak peek.
Right, a little sneak
Ooh,
peek.
that's all you're gonna get to see.
right, that and there may be some swag from the Super Bowl in the giveaway. Just might
Maybe
be.
one of us went. Maybe some of us
Maybe
got
someone went.
something for our viewers. Who knows?
Maybe somebody went to the AFC Championship game and they've got a bunch of confetti left over
Right,
that they don't have
right.
anything to do
Might
with.
be some confetti left over from the AFC Championship game against the Bengals. So I'm just saying you want to be in the giveaway. So
Tell a friend about our Twitter account.
Tell a
Have them go
friend.
follow it because
Right.
it'll trigger a giveaway. You could win it.
right. And if you don't have Twitter already, go sign up on Twitter and follow us. And then once the giveaway is over, you can delete the Twitter or you can keep it for future giveaways, or you don't have to tweet. I would recommend not tweeting, actually. I would recommend not going on Twitter if you haven't already. If you're not already infected by that cesspool that is Twitter, I hate to encourage anybody to sign up for Twitter, but the giveaway's coming soon, and it's going to be a good one. So make sure you
Lots of cool
just
stuff.
make sure you get in there.
It's like, have you ever wondered
I
if
don't
there's
think-
a phone app where you could also like talk to celebrities and your friends, and you can also like lose your job in your house?
Right.
I mean, it can do everything for you. Twitter.
I
You
can't
can get ex-players on your podcast show. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. We need to get Joe Valerio back on, man. We're slipping
Oh,
not
yeah, we
getting
do.
him on for the Super Bowl last year, but
Yeah.
we'll get him
Drop
in
him
here.
a line.
That'd be a good idea. I need to reach out to him and talk to him and see what he thinks about this new lineman we got from the Jaguars, and maybe what he thinks about him playing left tackle, moving from right. That sounds like a good idea. I need to get a hold of our guy.
He would
Joe.
be a great person to scratch their brain about the old
Would be.
offensive line scheme here.
Right. No doubt. We also got some other guests that I'm working on, trying to get lined up for the off-season shows here. Because after the draft, there's going to be a little bit of a lull in between that, and free agency signing's kind of over, then the draft is over. There's a little bit of a lull between the draft and training camp and the preseason. But football will be here before you know it. And I'm not saying I'm ready for football quite yet. I'm going to enjoy the summer. Makes this off season so much sweeter too when you win the Super Bowl, man. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
get to be happy about that shit. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next season, but I'm still loving this season from winning the championship. So a lot of fun. Make sure you're following us on Twitter.
Completely.
If you're watching the show and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the likes. That helps us out a lot. We'd really appreciate that. Fellas, is there any last words, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No.
Masters this weekend. Go Rory. That's my guy I'm picking. I don't know how Vegas picks their odds for golfers, man. Like that's fascinating for me. Everybody's kind of equal, but hey, man, the Masters this weekend, they got some guys out up in the sports book that are way up there that I'm not sure how they got that, but go Rory.
You're a Rory guy, huh?
Always have been, dude. That guy's good. He's got
He's
like
good.
the picturesque golf swing. He's pretty good.
He's good. He's a choker though. So
Oh, that guy you like? That guy sucks.
he's good. He's good. Just he ain't good on Sunday. That's the problem. I mean, that would
You
be
got a
career-
prediction for who's going to win on Sunday, Masters Sunday?
other than Rory and Tiger?
You can pick from all the golfers, right? You can pick from the live golfers too, like right, all the guys that left too. They're playing.
Let's go,
I-
Phil.
I would not bet Tiger. I
don't know if I
as a
can even
friend,
name
if you're
5.
going to Vegas.
I don't know if I could
Don't
even
bet
name
Tiger.
5 golfers other than Tiger Woods and Rory. Bubba Watson, he's still playing.
He is, but he hasn't really done much. But I mean, like pretty much everybody else is still up there. Like Brooks
Jordan
Koepka,
Spieth.
Bryson
Who's
DeChambeau,
His old flat brim. Ricky, what's his name?
Ricky
Fowler?
Fowler.
Ricky
Fowler.
Fowler's doing well again, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's a strange time if you're a golf fan. Like all these older names are like they're starting to be relevant again. They're all getting top 5, top 10 finishes, which is, I mean, in golf, man, winning it's one thing, but getting a top 5, top 10 finish is like almost the same thing. These guys shoot ridiculous scores.
Is Rory, is he Irish?
Yeah.
He is.
that right?
Yeah.
I know
You're
big-
not picking an American to win the Masters, Bo? Where's
Got to stick with me, Irish roots, Nick.
Right.
What? Oh, Rory.
Bohannon.
That's probably terrible, but
Bohannon, that's an Irish name. So
yes, sir.
yeah, I know Big Doug's a golf fan. I'd be interested to see who Big Doug's.
Laney's going Jordan Spieth.
I was just about to ask if Jordan Spieth was still playing. I mean, dude, I don't watch golf at all. So
Yep, Speed still, dude. Like, also, like, there's a cool documentary on Netflix called Full Swing right now. Maybe HBO. I think it's Netflix.
Big
Really
Doug's
cool.
huge
Like,
golf fan.
yeah,
it's
that
just
is
like
the career
behind the
path for Rory.
scenes stuff for all these tournaments, for all the big guys, and it's really cool. It gets you kind of more intimate with all the players in there again. Yeah, check it out. I'd recommend it. Full Swing, Netflix. Pretty cool.
I tell you what, this guy's name just popped into my head, and I have no idea how. But John Rahm is a golfer, right?
No, dude. Yeah, he.
I'm taking
I think
John
he's won like the
Rahm.
first 3 or 4 tournaments this year. He's crushing it. He's
All right,
doing
well, I'm
well,
going with
too.
John Rahm. That's my
Spaniard.
guy. That's my guy for the Masters.
All right.
Cool.
Nick, you want to lock in a bet?
Yeah. Ricky Fowler, let's do it.
Ooh, hold
I
on.
like my
All
odds,
right.
Nick.
I got $20 on it.
$20 on Ricky Fowler. Woo!
Who are you betting?
You guys, we each pick one. And then if one of our guys wins and the other people
Oh,
got
all right.
$20,
All right. I'm with you. What if none of our guys win?
Then
then
the
it's a push.
$60 goes to the giveaway. Just throw that in
Yeah,
there.
okay,
We
sure.
might be able to figure something like that. We might be able to figure something.
Maybe go
like
buy something worth $60 for the giveaway.
that. Yeah, we got a lot
There
of
you
stuff
go.
to give
Yeah.
away.
Just add more stuff to it.
There we go.
Oh, I don't think there's a limit to the amount of Twitter accounts you can create. Wink, wink out there.
Right. You just have to have an email address or a phone number. So, I think it's one email address per account. But yeah, go follow us. Help spread the word. Appreciate everybody. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back next week. Who knows what's going to happen in Chiefs Kingdom, but we'll be here to break it down, and we look forward to seeing you all again. And until next week, let's go Chiefs.
Let's go, Chiefs.